have fixed audio. Hello and welcome. Hello. This is Total Spotfest. Over there dying is Jamie. I am JJ. That is Austin Reddick down there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for... Yeah, I know, right? I know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us here. If it's your first time here, hello. We do this every Wednesday. Give us a subscribe down below so you can see us do this every week. Give us a big thumbs up while you're down there. Boys, how was your Thanksgiving? That's really the question I want to get to. And I would love for Jamie to answer that first.
Same.
Our audio's great, boys.
Kudos to Jamie. Kudos to tech support, Jamie Faulkner, ladies and gentlemen. Kudos.
Took 3 seconds of Googling. Figured it out.
Whereas me, I spent like 2 hours of fiddling with buttons and stuff and couldn't figure it out.
Ask somebody.
Our personalities in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me go find the answer. You're like, let's go figure this shit.
And I'm like, no, I'm going to make it work until it does what I need it to do. So, Thanksgiving. Jamie, how was Thanksgiving, buddy?
I plead the fifth.
No. Oh, we can go first.
Yeah, you got to tell us about your taco experience.
Okay.
Was it taco-tastic?
You live Moss.
So, I definitely did not live Moss. That was for damn sure. So, for those who don't know, Jamie is allergic to onions. Okay.
Like very allergic.
So, both the beef and the chicken, tons of fucking onions. Tons of onions. And peppers. First off, it's like, how can you ruin this anymore? And then they just decide, like, so what I ended up having was literally chips and nachos. And then they did have some refried beans. So I made myself a bean and cheese burrito. That's what I had. That was my Thanksgiving, gentlemen. It was so fucking fantastic. You have no idea how elated I was. Then on top of that, I saw the freaking refs straight butt fuck the Chiefs, and it's just like, I can't win. I can't win today. But then my wife did come in the clutch. She is the almighty in my life. We had a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner at home. All the good stuff. So life was good after that. But yeah.
I didn't even think about it. The onions. I was like, oh yeah, Jamie's really allergic to onions.
I get like the lactose problem. Like my stomach, like I don't go to like shock or anything, but like I'm like,
it's not anaphylactic. No.
It might come back, and then the rest of my guts are going to be hurting for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Austin, how was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was great. The wife and I played video games all day, and we ate some ravioli in the evening because we weren't about to cook a whole ass bird for 2 people. So, yeah, it was a solid time.
I had very chill. Go pick up my sister. Got to my dad's house. Got there a little early too. Got to spend some good time with my dad and my stepmom. My stepmom's it's her best. It's her little sister, basically her best friend. She's basically part of the family, right? And then me and my sister, we got to spend some good time. Had a couple cocktails. Had a very traditional Thanksgiving dinner, which I got plenty of leftovers for too. I was given 2 big things to take home. Pie. I made myself my grandma's chocolate pie. I think I finally nailed the recipe too. I think I finally figured out the catch on it. Right? It took me a couple tries to figure it out. The thing is, because she used to make the whole crust. It's like a graham cracker. It's a chocolate pudding pie. It's real simple, right? But she always made her own crust. Well, I tried that and it's hard as fuck. But I think I found the secret because I started doing, taking, graham cracker crumbs to put on the top as like sprinkled on the top of it. And then I was like, wait a minute, I think I've got it. just add a fuckload of butter, right? So I take a
the answer, man.
pre-made crust. I kind of coat it with butter, stick it in the oven for 20 minutes or so. Take it out, let it fully dry. Then I make the pudding and put it in there after it's like fully hardened, and it's just more butter. That's the answer. That's I mean, my grandma. She's from the greatest generation. Of course, everything was always the answer. So
if we're talking dessert, my wife has got an affinity to make amazing things with pumpkin.
she does. I can verify that.
She makes this bomb ass pumpkin cheesecake. It is legit to die for. And then she had Audrey actually help her. And on accident this year, she's supposed to put in pumpkin spice, but she put in cinnamon on accident, and it made it taste 10 times better. Like, she put the pumpkin spice in there because there's already cinnamon and pumpkin spice.
Right, right.
Oh. So next time we get together, like all three of us, and with wives or whatever, I'm gonna definitely con my wife into making it because, gentlemen.
Yeah, please do. That sounds outstanding.
I've had some of Jen's pumpkin creations. Her pumpkin balls were famous back when we were actually in the office and stuff, right? But have not pumpkin cheesecake. Let's go. All right. If you're watching and you're from America, please tell us if your Thanksgiving was enjoyable or if it was a bean and cheese burrito experience. Either way, we love to hear it. You can comment in the chat, give us give us a shout in the comments down below. Also, you can find us on them internet at Total Spotfest on X. Give your best burrito memes to Jamie, please do. So. We got some wrestling to talk about. There was a pay-per-view over the weekend from another company. A pay-per-view that we used to include in our title picture, but we did not this year because literally we all forgot it was happening. We'll talk about...
There's 4 matches. There's 4 matches. How you going to really pick?
I'm with you. I agree completely. And I think I'm picking, the big maybe Rumble. Maybe we stay on with the Rumble. What do you think?
Yeah, because at least Rumble we can do Final 4, each worth a point. There's some variety there.
All right, we might go with that route. We'll talk about that later. So we had some Dynamite this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Continental Classic keeps trucking forward. We got a bunch of specialty shows coming up as well, too. We got the first winner is coming next week, and then we got winner is coming again, but in England in 2 weeks. And then there's another England special. I don't know. You guys know how I feel about Tony and his overuse of thematic shows on the weekly show, right? Why is there 2 winners is coming? Why?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Somebody, please do it now.
At least call the second one winner is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real weird just call back-to-back shows winner is coming. I could even see because I sometimes do it for Dynamite and Collision, especially when Collision's airing on Thursday or something. Back-to-back shows, maybe, but there is not there's a whole ass show in between. And it's just, it's real weird to have winners coming twice.
And 12,000 miles, just saying.
It's so weird. So I'm looking at our audio again because I'm just being anal retentive about it. Our tracks are off. We're a kung fu movie right now.
Hell yeah.
Does it sound okay, though?
Oh, no, it's still crackling.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The crackle's back. At the beginning, it was great. Maybe it's just because we're too loud now. I don't know.
All right. I'll bring down the gains, and then next week we'll switch back to a different broadcast software.
It's so weird. Oh, well. F it.
We tried. It started going good.
I blame it on the Halloween special being so amazing.
broke the internet.
All right. Well, we're just gonna be a kung fu movie here, so hope you all enjoy us. Please give us comments in the live chat. So let us know about that. Screw it. Let's just go forward. All right. So we were in Indianapolis, Indiana tonight here, and we begin the show not with the Continental Classic, but with kind of a preview because Samoa Joe is going to have his first title defense next week, boys, against Eddie Kingston. Yay, kudos to Eddie for getting that. We had two of the best talkers there are starting the show, talking to each other. It's also his first title defense, and there's zero chance of Eddie winning, right? So, or is there?
There is a slightly larger than 0% chance of Eddie winning. I would put it between 0 and 1%.
See, and I'm a little more optimistic, and I do somewhere between 0 and 3%.
So, if Samoa Joe is physically hurt in the middle of the match, where he tears he rips his knee all apart, right? You're telling me Eddie can win that belt, basically, is what you're saying. That's what I'm hearing.
I think what I'm basically saying is it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world.
Okay.
Eddie is not having a long run with that title if he wins it, and he's probably not winning it.
No, he's definitely not winning it.
But if the plan was just to kind of move the title around, maybe get to an MJF returning with his contract, I think MJF returning to take the title off Kingston is a good amount of heat for MJF. Kingston having a short feel-good run. The reason why I say there's a non-zero chance is because we just saw Billy Gunn win the TNT title over the summer to then hold it for a couple weeks and drop to Kyle Fletcher. It's historically not out of the realm of possibilities that we get a short Eddie Kingston run with that title.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I would love to see Eddie win it, but just because I'd love to see the internet literally catch on fire. Just because they're like, why did they put him as champion? Blah, blah, blah. That's why they'll never be anybody. Blah, blah, blah. I just want the trolls to lose their ever-loving mind. That's all I really want.
Well, as cool as that would be, we all know that's not going to fucking happen. All right,
Yeah.
But it is what it is, At least on the first winner is coming.
What happened to our screen?
I'm trying stuff to reset it so that we're not so.
I just thought like we just disappeared and came back.
Yeah, that was me. I just switched off the projector and put it back on. We're still delayed, so we're gonna live with it. All right, we're just gonna be a kung fu movie tonight, boys.
Everybody was
Indeed.
Is the sound at least better? Is the sound at least better though?
Well, it was, and then it started crackling again.
And now it's crackling. I mean, is it still crackling? We are being very apprehensive about it. Okay, well. All right, well.
Yeah, we are crackling, but not near as much. So,
hey, baby steps.
It's like we peak. Now we're peaking.
Now we're peaking.
Because anytime we get high, that's like insta.
All right, well, I'm just going to turn down the gains again, and we'll just go with that. And welcome to our scuffed wrestling podcast show, ladies and gentlemen. We thought we figured it out, but apparently not. Speaking of figuring it out, we're going to figure out what the God's green earth is going on with this Continental Classic, okay? So before we get to talking about the matches themselves, later on, and I won't get into the full promo, but you have Don, you got a Don Callis family sitting there, and Renee very astutely asked Don why the international title is not being put up when the Continental title is. And boys, I want to remind you, these titles are supposed to have been combined. That's why there's a goddamned unified title out there, right? But Stardom goes on to explain that apparently the unified title has 2 legs. Like it's the goddamn Triple Crown for these are fucking horses out here, right? So there is the Continental Championship and the International Championship. And when you have both of those, that's how you have the unified championship. You can still have one, but not the other. But then if you don't have both, apparently you're not the unified. What the fuck are we doing? Why is this happening? What is going on? Is it just me? Am I just losing my brain over this, or is please somebody give me some justification?
It is needlessly convoluted. I will give you that. I think the whole point is that when Okada eventually drops the Continental title to Takeshita at the end of this tournament,
he still has a belt.
He's still going to be the international champion. And then we'll just have more belts. But we'll put a pin in that, and we'll discuss the belts later on this evening.
So I'm sorry, I had to go off there. I mean, but that was the goddamn point of the fucking Okada Omega match, right?
You would think, right?
It was supposed to unify. That's the unified title.
I mean,
what a word.
Clearly, it was a unification that still wasn't a unification. I feel like this is, as much as I love having lots of belts, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but this just feels kind of dumb.
Here's a question. Do you think unifying the Continental and the International in the first place was the right move?
Yeah.
Yes, if they would have actually just done that.
Because I think if we would have had those getting defended separately over the last 6-7 months, how long it's been, I think that might have been better TV.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to put a pin in that anyway, like you said.
We'll talk more about belts later.
Matches of themselves. We'll talk about the main event at the end here. But your first match of the night is an Okada match, coming out wearing his international title, going up against Pac. Okay, so this is a gold lead match. We had 2 gold leads, 1 blue league match this evening. So this one was great. This was not my match of the night, though. Okay, yes, I know Pac and Okada. Yes, give me some more of that. This is the beauty of the Continental Classic, right? You get these unexpected matchups and just a crapload of wrestling every week, which makes Austin Reddick very horny. I mean, very happy. And yeah, I mean, what else can you say? It's Pac and Okada to open up your card. Let's go.
So I felt like tonight as a whole, in addition to just the Continental Classic, amazing wrestling we're going to get no matter what, I thought this entire show was just like stuffed with things going on.
Oh,
it feels like they did a really good. I mean, we'll get into all of it, but it feels like they did a really good job of featuring the Continental Classic, but also showing you everything else that's going on at the same time. And it seems like there's a full roster of people with things to do.
Yeah, well said. They definitely kept the C2 going, and that was at the forefront of the entire episode. But to your point, they did an excellent job of feeding all the other storylines that were going on. And we got a Dark Order sighting, which never makes Damien happy.
Boy, they are a shell of their former selves, though. My God. I mean, they were on the precipice of being like the biggest thing in all of wrestling. And yeah, I just fell short. It fell hard. Now, you talk about, I mean, there was a ton. Like, the amount of stuff that they had is insane. You know, there was Mark Briscoe promo. Okay, he's going to fight Danny Garcia at the second Winter is Coming in Cardiff, Wales. I think, whatever. He's going to defend his TNT title against Danny Garcia, right? And then you go into a Ricochet promo, right? Where he talks about how everybody on all these little promotions want him to get out there and defend his national championship. And again, the belts. Belt is beautiful, but it's like, so the national championship, apparently there's still an international and a Continental to be a unified championship. Aside from your TNT championship and your men's world championship, don't forget there's a trios and there's a tag team championship. Shall we include Ring of Honor in this? Because they're basically involved too. Because you got Ring of Honor trios team as well as a pure championship, TV championship, and world championship. I don't have this many fingers. What the fuck are we doing?
Allow me to try and make it make sense for you.
Please do.
I understand it's confusing. There's a lot, and it might seem like too much at times. But I feel like I got to drop a little knowledge on you, explain why that's not the case. That's right.
Really, stash of knowledge.
Even though the stash is very, very 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah,
but still.
There's the stash is just here in spirit. It's a stash ghost.
It's a virtual stash.
Because I got tired of maintaining it for a while. It'll return eventually. It's on the Winter is Coming hiatus right now. Maybe around the time of Winter is Coming 4 Icelandic Escapade or whatever they got going on later in the month, it'll return. So a few weeks gauntlet to crown the first ever national champion, we had a similar discussion about, are there too many belts? Is this belt needed? And at the time, I said, let's see what they're going to do with this. And it does turn out the national championship is just another title. But I was thinking about it earlier, and like I mentioned earlier in the show about, I think TV would have been better with the international title getting defended separately over the last however long since All In. I like all these titles because I think they have the talent to support it. And this promo with Ricochet really drove that home for me. What else are you going to have Ricochet do? You almost have too much talent where if you don't have all these titles, they're going to be in meaningless stories. Now we're getting a random Ricochet and Dalton Castle match out of nowhere, just for this title Ricochet has because it's something to fight for. So I was on the fence for a while about, is it too many? But again, let's follow the logical conclusion that Takeshita is going to win the Continental title. Okada still got one. Beating Okada and taking the international title will still mean something. You have Takeshita with the Continental. Kyle Fletcher is going to be going after one of them. The TNT title is probably where it needs to be. Mark Briscoe and a Daniel Garcia should be fighting over that thing on a Collision somewhere, or a Winter is Coming. The trios titles have been the weakest point, and those are kind of useless, but they're attached to the main event storyline now. I also think you're going to get, after the incoming Death Rider split, I think Claudio, Pac, and Yuta going after the trios titles is real fun TV. FTR, your tag champs. Brodito had a good run. You've got teams now lining up. I think with all these titles, they're in a really good place.
Well, thank you for your vast knowledge there. It's still too many belts. I mean, I felt this way a little bit. You know, you got to this point at times in WCW where it's like, wait, how many belts are there? What are we doing, right? And I think there's a fine line between just having like one or two and having way too many, right? I think we're right now, and maybe it's because I'm frustrated with the whole Continental unified clusterfuck that it is, right? But when you have too many, that's not as special, right? It's supposed to be that chase getting there instead of, well, I'm just going to get a belt in the way. Your character lines are aiming towards one of two or three big goals, right? No matter what, at the end of the day, it's always kind of your tag team's going for your tag team gold. You have your title, your main title for all your main people, and for your, not quite main people, they're going for that next rung up the ladder, right? That's kind of the way wrestling's always been, right? You got your main, got your secondary, you got your tag team. You sprinkle in a little bit here and there, but it just, you're overloaded with sprinkles, and
But they're also overloaded with top guys.
well, they are. But does everybody need a belt, Jamie?
I think you're looking at it wrong.
Okay,
I think that's your problem.
sure.
You are stuck in 1993 and 1997 and the way that we think about how belts work.
According to my
So allow me to take you to the far east, if you will. New Japan Wrestling. You know how many belts they got?
87, something stupid.
They got more than what's in AEW because they believe in people being champions of certain things and like that to elevate and develop more than just one guy. Because here's the thing: you think, oh, the TNT is going to be a TNT for a little bit. He's going to move to the big show. Like that's kind of your thinking. Intercontinental just moves up. Okay, what about the rest of them? What about the other guys who deserve shots, who deserve some recognition? What about those guys? Oh, we don't want to showcase them. Okay, well, since they don't have a belt, they mean less. I mean, that's kind of what you're saying a little bit, and that's old hat thinking. I think the new way, and New Japan has really done a really good job with that because you have like the juniors and you have like junior tag, the trios, junior trios, like you have the never open weight, you have all these different belts that they have, right? And it gives different people in different stages of their career one more run with some gold or to elevate them to develop them into something special. And I think that's what Tony is trying to do. Now, I am going to throw this out there, and I'm going to throw it out now. Super hot take. The unified title is going to be on the line for the Continental Classic. Playing the seats tonight, boys. Playing the seats.
I could see that being put on the line right before the final.
Yep.
I think if the final is who we all believe it's going to be, right? Yes, that I get that. I also can very much more see Takeshita wins one of the legs, so the unified title disappears or can't be. It's not unified, so you have to reunify that because that's your natural proving ground for the rematch that you'll have at All In or wherever, right? You know, between Okada, Takeshita at that point. Maybe you get a little Kyle Fletcher in the mix there, you know, to kind of shake it up before you do that. But I think that the big, long, convoluted way around this is just a way to give us not just one at the end of this tournament, but another in the future with purpose for, although you don't, and my argument is you don't really need it, right? We've said enough time about these matches, like these matches tonight, you know, Pac and Okada. Yes, please give me that, right? The next matchup, Kyle Fletcher versus Kevin Knight. I don't need a reason for that. You know, just put that in my eyeballs.
With one now. I think it's better with a reason.
There's more stakes. I'll give you that. Okay, so. All right. So anyway, you guys let us know. More belts, yay? Less belts, good. What do you want to do? Yay or good? Good.
You know what I would like to see AEW add is a true hardcore title.
I was just gonna say about a hardcore belt.
Like, can we? I would like the international title. So they already established tonight it's not in the line in this tournament. If Okada just gave it to Mark Davis, beat up with a hammer like they did to Mankind back in the day, and be like, that's just our new hardcore title. I'd enjoy that.
I mean, that would be a hell of a nod back at the Heritage. And ladies and gentlemen, we all know how big of a mark Tony Khan is. So who knows? Maybe it will happen. Or somebody finds deep in the annals the secondary AEW World Title belt with a giant black spray painted X on the middle of it.
Yeah, I think just disappeared. Never to be heard from again.
No, nobody wants the Punk title? Okay, all right. Roddy, the quick little conglomeration, promo. Roderick Strong reiterates he is not in the conglomeration, which I do appreciate the consistency. Because everybody knows us. It's that we are definitely committed to the bit. And kudos to you, Roddy, for... Holy hell, that's the first time that actually showed up in my little widget there. That's awesome.
Really quick before we move on from Roddy, like clearly the in-ring work will always be there because he's really good in the ring. Is anyone in wrestling mailing it in harder than Roderick Strong right now? Like, it seems like his entire character is a half-assed version of the yelling Adam repeatedly with Adam Cole when he was injured and all that. But Roddy seems checked out in every conglomeration segment.
Have you seen Roderick Strong trying character on his own?
Like I said, the stuff with Adam Cole was great.
That was the one thing he's ever done, Jamie. That's been great, right? On his own.
The one thing. I think he's just trying to get that the glamour back from it, the recognition of what he was doing, because yeah, it sucks.
You know where Roderick Strong should be? He should be in the Don Callis family.
He should.
No, I disagree.
I see him going.
I very much like the kind of like angsty, sort of like almost emo-esque, in a manner of speaking, right? He's still hanging out with them, but he's very much saying he doesn't want to be hanging out with them, right? I actually enjoy that whole part about Roderick, right? Because he's obviously clamping. He wears nothing but Paragon shirts, right? He's clamping onto a past that doesn't exist anymore, right? And I think he's consistent, and I enjoy that from him, right? He still comes to their back. He still is always with Kyle, right? I think if you ever have a storyline, you've definitely made moves to make Kyle a big player in different things, right? You have a great storyline you could run with him built in with that, right? Is he going to turn into, Hangman or Swerve or, any of these great storytellers overnight? No. I like it though. I think it's good.
See, I like what they're trying to do with him. I just don't think he's doing it particularly well.
He never really does. just to be real. As I said, your next match in the Continental Classic, another gold match. You had Kyle Fletcher versus Kevin Knight, and ladies and gentlemen, this was my match of the night. I loved every second of this fucking match. This was so good. This was
if we weren't barreling towards getting Takeshita versus Fletcher and then Takeshita versus Okada in the semifinals and finals, I would say this is probably going to be match of the tournament. But the semis and the finals are going to be phenomenal. But this was outstanding, and I think Kevin Knight needed this match. Like, we've seen plenty from him to know he's very good in the ring. But this was one of those matches where it's like, damn, he could be a top guy like tomorrow.
I mean, he crippled Darby Allin last week, Jamie. So there's that. We even got a little video from him in the hospital,
Oh yeah. This was. I think if this wasn't your match of the night, did you really watch Dynamite?
Thank you.
Honestly. And you know me, like I do like some good high flying, but I'm more of a technical thing. And the fact that they mixed it in so beautifully and seamlessly, it was just so well done. They have a star. They do. I mean, we already know what they have the star in the other guy he fought, but I mean, I would not be surprised in 6 to 8 months, we are talking about him in some title run, like going for something. I don't know if it's going to be by himself or just be preferably by himself, because honestly, I think Speedball can fly solo too. So, I can't
I
wait.
can see Kevin Knight taking that national title off Ricochet down the
Same.
line.
I think
That's
that's
when
I
I was
think that's
eyeballing too.
I think it's a good way to start getting him going there with that. I think you got TNT title in his future as well too. I mean Kevin Knight has proven himself in Japan, ad nauseum. So there's lots of options we have for him, and we all know pontificated, but God bless our Lord and Savior Kyle Fletcher. That pink wonder of a man. Baby, I don't know if you can really call him baby because he's twice the size, but baby Shawn Michaels, right?
He is.
He's got, and yeah, to your point, Jamie. I mean, yeah, you talk about it, but yeah, that's kind of what Kyle Fletcher. He could do it all, right? He can go ground and pound. He can go technical. He can go high flying. He can take like the amount of DDTs he took on like weird places was just unbelievable, right? And oh god, match was so good.
There was one thing Kyle Fletcher did in this match that just spoke to my soul as someone that does this on occasion.
Okay.
When Kevin Knight set him up for that coast to coast dropkick from the Tree of Woe, I don't know if you'll notice Kyle Fletcher reaching up and trying to pull his own foot out to get out of it before he actually took it.
Yeah.
And 99% of the time, these people just hang there, which for a coast to coast missile dropkick is perfectly fine. The dropkick's going to be awesome and you don't care. But little stuff like that, Kyle Fletcher is just so damn good at pro wrestling.
Yeah, it's just a little extra bit of selling. And you saw, and if you looked really close, he actually went to the wrong foot. He went to go up, he went to the wrong leg to try and move it, which is why he stayed stuck there. But it's just little things.
He's just so damn good.
And
he's so good. He's so good.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hold on, I'm making a.
He's so good. While you do that, there is a poll out there, ladies and gentlemen. What AEW belt would you replace with a hardcore title? All of them are out there: Unified, TNT, National, and a new belt.
Oh God, more belts.
I picked new belts.
Of course,
and the reason why, I think they should make a women's hardcore title.
Ooh,
dude, that'd be so rad. Actually,
hardcore division is something that, I mean, they do women's hardcore matches all the time, but having a dedicated hardcore division for the women would be like new and exciting shit.
No one does it. No one's ever done it. Like, that's the thing. Like, do something no one's done.
I mean, that would be different. Now we are steaming full speed ahead. By the way, after the match, you had Don Callis filling the whole commercial per time with Kyle Fletcher talking about the things he's great at or something. I don't know. To be in that crowd for that promo would have been the best, because literally they filled the entire commercial. They came back and they were still going, and just the crowd was hot. But he's just a quick little promo on the Young Bucks, telling them siding them with Kenny Omega is an unforgivable sin. They could have done so many other things up to and including kill a person, and it would have been better than if they sided with Kenny Omega. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we proclaim our love for hashtag committed to the bit.
Always.
Of course, this brings out the Young Bucks. This brings out Okada, who attacks the Young Bucks. Jurassic Express, everybody for the Don Callis family, and eventually Kenny Omega. You get everybody comes up. Fisticuffs. There you are. Into the women's semifinal. So we had to talk about this last week. What are you doing with the tag team division for the women, right? Big, strong opinions about face versus heel, face versus face. And are you going to slap this title on a random Wednesday, or are you going to save it for World's End? Well, boys, we got all those answers courtesy of yet another death match, a hardcore holiday death match. We did just have Blood and Guts like 3 weeks ago, but never mind you that. right back to it here. Luckily, this one wasn't as bonkers. I felt that I liked that. There was still some crazy stuff they did. There were racks, there was tables, there was barbed wire wrapped candy canes. You know, it wasn't as over the top because we just had blood and guts like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Do y'all think that they did this whole stipulation and made this a hardcore match to hide Marina? I had that thought tonight. And she was perfectly fine in this, and she does a lot more of the hardcore style stuff. But as I was watching the match, like as the match went on, I was more and more convinced that Toni Storm and Mina were winning anyway, and that they weren't going to put Mina and Megan Bayne in the finals because I think the match quality would be much lesser. And like Marina's great at the spots they put her in, but I started to think that's why they made this a hardcore match, is just to kind of hide Marina's shortcomings in the ring a little bit.
Jamie, I'll let you answer that.
Okay. I hate when you and I share the same brain sometimes. It's really funny because I was literally had this on the docket to bring up because it was very obvious there were 3 really solid wrestlers in that ring. And then you had Marina, who had phenomenal spots, to your point.
Yes.
Exactly to your point. But if just the normal like day-to-day stuff, you know, like if you notice like just some of the other stuff, like she's compared to the other 3. Like, I mean, yeah. What they're doing with Marina is for her, and to your point, hardcore top in the women's division, that she's your poster child. But regular wrestling, like, yeah, if you want the tag championship to mean something and have like some crazy bonkers ass great wrestling match, it's not gonna have Marina in it. I agree.
Yeah, and Marina was makeshift. Like it was meant to be Penelope and Megan, right? At least that's my belief, right? Marina in a regular wrestling match we have seen, and she just reverts back to her judo background, which is fine for a judo competition. You know? So I'm with you. I hear that, you know, and I don't think you're wrong. I think, though, the moment that Penelope got hurt, I think it or was wiped out, whether hurt or axed, you're right. We've heard that there's potential, you know, it's all kayfabe, whatever, right? That immediately meant Megan wasn't going to go on to this final, regardless of who was on the other side. I've always felt like this was the better play from this side of the bracket, no matter what. Toni and Mina, absolutely, right? Jamie, you were big on face versus heel, so are you sad we're getting face versus face?
Yes and no. Yes, because I like the 1993 to 1997 construct.
Hey, look who's back
face versus
here!
heel.
I'm not the only one living. I'm not the only one living in the 90s. At least that's good to know.
But quality of match wise, gentlemen, I think quality of match is why face versus face is going to make me excited, because they cannot miss on the winner of this. If you ask me, it cannot be Toni and Mina. I love them, but it cannot be them. It has to be the Babes of Wrath. Has to.
After I saw that promo from them right before this match, I was all in Babes of Wrath winning this tournament. I think they're going to.
Now, you say that. This is Toni Storm we're talking about here. You say cannot be. I would put, if I was a betting man, which you know I'm not, I would put these odds straight down the middle. Okay? Especially because well, legally, I can legally bet in Missouri now. Yay! I've actually got like some money in one of those apps too, because it's a long story. One of my managers is like, here, I'm gonna Venmo you money, but you gotta sign up for this thing and give them under my link and upload $10. So he did that for everybody here, because when they did that, he got like $50 for every referral. So
yeah.
So So I got money sitting in a sports book. I need to do a parlay sometime, apparently. Who knows, right? I think it's down the middle because it's still Tony Storm, right? And Tony's got Luther back. You know, Luther Claus came out, which was fantastic to see. Okay. Yes, I think it'd be better for the wrestling division if you had Willow and Harley win it. I don't want to discredit Tony Storm being the first team champion either, though, just because it is Tony Storm.
I just think Tony doesn't need it.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. I don't make these decisions though. Who does this booking, boys?
That's fair. That's fair.
That's what everybody says.
if I'd put money down though, I'd put money on Willow and Harley winning that match.
Okay. Me too. Well, the good news is that we will find out next week because, yes, they're definitely putting this on a random fucking Wednesday. Why build it up?
It's Winter is Coming. It's their biggest 2-week event of the year.
Winter is Coming V1 in the chilly confines of Atlanta, Georgia.
So I figured it out. It's not.
Please.
It's not two different winters is coming. It's winter is coming next week, and then winter is coming in the following week. Winter.
Can't we do winter? Winter is came, or winter just come.
Maybe it's like how Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving in like September, and then we have one a little bit later,
October, but still.
Yes. I've never known when Canadian Thanksgiving is. It is never actually coming up. I just know it exists. But maybe it's America gets their winter is coming next Wednesday, and then wherever they are, somewhere in the UK, the week after.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to find out next week, though. So they're for what it's worth. Next week's show looks to be jam packed. I mean, they put the card up there. So touche for that, including the inaugural women's tag team champion. So, but when you talk about cutting a lot of promos, we cut a lot of promos tonight, boys. Okay, so yeah, quick little Dark Order promo, right? You know, they're getting a trios title eliminator match. Okay, they run into Hangman backstage, and they tell Hanger, "Hey, don't you be messing with our shot, bro." You know, he's like, "I won't do anything until after the bell's over." So, but he's coming for blood because he wants to kill Hook. Okay, cool. A Mercedes Moné promo. She's defending her Ring of Honor Women's TV title. Did I get that right? This Friday at is it Supercard? It's not Supercard. It's
Final Battle, I think.
Final Battle. Thank you. Yeah. This Friday at Final Battle against the woman who she just unified the titles from, Red Velvet. So, yay, 50-50 booking over in ROH. FDR does a little promo on the Bang Bang Gang, you know, because they came out and they're trying to big boy up and challenge FDR. They're the last team to beat them. Remember, this is indeed, you know, at least if you listen to Cash Wheeler, not Austin Gunn and Juice Robinson. This is really just Billy's boy and Mr. Storm.
That was well said. That was a good promo.
He doesn't often talk well, but when he does, he throws out some fucking zingers, man.
I'm saying he's better than y'all give him credit for.
He is. This is proof.
I just wish if he was going to drop that line, that promo would have been cut in front of the crowd to get a crowd reaction to it.
Yeah,
but it was a great promo.
Yeah, because the Billy's boy, the Mr. Storm would have got everybody just going, oh.
That's one of those lines where you want the people's reaction to it.
Yeah.
Well, FTR Gunn has always been all right promo. He's not the biggest talker of the group, but he gets his job done when he needs to.
Yep. We talked about Don Callis family promo as well too. So, you know, come out, start talking. You know, because you got Fletcher with 6 points. He's in the total lead. Takeshita and Okada both got 3, and of course, Okada blames Takeshita for something happening tonight, right? And he comes out there. Of course, the three of them. You can sense the tension going on here.
You played for Kenny Omega.
Oh, that's right. You played for Kenny Omega coming out after the whole promo. So, continuing on with this, we all know where this is going. You had the Dark Ops versus the Dark Order. This is the Hook Ops. Okay. Actually, that's what I'm gonna call it from now on. Without Samoa Joe, it's the Hook Ops. So the Hook Ops versus Dark Order 8.3 Trios Eliminator match. Yeah, it happened. Dark Order's not getting a title shot. I'll put it that way.
Dark Order is where they should have put Hook. Send him to Ring of Honor where we don't have to see him on our TV on Wednesday.
I know. I miss Stu Grayson. That's all I gotta say. Out comes Hangman afterwards. He's out to kill Hook, and fights with the Ops. The Ops is private security, AEW security, pretty much anybody out there in a black T-shirt. He's out to fight. And then he gets a promo later on where he challenges next week. You like that, Jamie? He challenges next week Hobbs Shibata to a fight with him and a yet to be unnamed, but we all know who it really is person. Okay? Rio with the pipe. Yep. What do you guys feel about this whole episode in the Hangman Swerve saga where now they're begrudging frenemies? Don't you do that. Dude, did you see what they called Marina and Megan Bain, by the way?
The Mega Problems.
That's a pretty solid name.
Stop it. I was waiting for Jamie to do that during the women's match, and he never did.
What's up, Squatch?
Hey, Squatch.
Oh, we got Squatch sighting.
Yep. All right, I'm going to close this poll. It's been up for like 20 minutes.
It's a solid poll.
It is a good poll. But what do you think? What do you think, guys? I mean, this whole saga, this whole step we've gotten to in the Hanger Swerve saga.
I think it's the natural progression until you eventually get Swerve turning heel and beating up Hangman. Which doesn't have to be soon, but like, if this is going to be a fight forever, you need these times where they're kind of on the same side. And I like the idea. Like, they looked badass last week, just coming out together with weapons, ready to kick ass.
Oh yeah,
I'm down for a short run of that. And I think before too long, though, I think Swerve turns heel, beats up Hangman, because I think we've had a face Swerve for long enough. Time turn heel.
I think he's an enemy. He's an enemy.
Oh God.
But they have a common enemy. So you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna bring them together. And we're gonna call them the Mega Powers. Mega Powers. Never been heard before. The old adage, though. Enemy of my enemy is now my friend.
I'm all for it. I feel like I want to see them make this turn faster than what I think they're going to do. Great, you have Joe unexpected. He has the title, right? Get it off him. Put on one of these two, because you've got still MJF coming back here. Next year you're gonna get Ospreay in the fray. You know, at some point you've got Kenny Omega, Kyle Fletcher, and Kazuchika Okada. Some of that's got to go into the main picture at some point, right? You know? As much as I love Joe, he doesn't need to be up there with that. I think it's good as a little refresher. I know Austin loves the whole idea about move the belt around like a motherfucker, right? Bing, 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 pinball that bitch.
Me too.
I want to see them get past this friendly stage, but I'm with you there. Speaking of friendly stage, we did not get a friendly stage. We kind of did in our main event. So, Blue League match in the Continental Classic. Jon Moxley versus Claudio Castagnoli.
Hell yeah. I always like the old Claudio arms.
Yep. They are
It's
great.
such a classic, like old school pro wrestling. Like when they would have the enhancement guy already in the ring, and his opponent, they'd say his random name, and he would just do his little satin jacket.
Yeah.
Squatch asked, why was this run as short as his first? The first one is because they didn't know what to do with him. This time they actually know what to do with him, and this is all about storyboarding and character building. They actually have a plan.
Time out. The first one did not end because they didn't know what to do with Hanger. The first one ended because CM Punk showed up and was like, give me that belt.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just had to correct history there.
and then
6-1.
Then Hanger going into business for himself.
That's not cowboy shit. That's coward shit. All right. I feel like you tell me if I'm wrong here, Squatch. Okay. I feel like Hangman is better going after the title than having the title. And we have two good instances of that in AEW's history.
Well, I think that
everybody though,
baby faces typically,
yeah.
That's the old WCW NWA booking. Is you book the chase, the babyface has it for a little while, and then they just drop it to another heel to set up another chase. I think in this case, I don't think it's that Hangman wasn't better on the chase. I think it's that you got him the title, you did MJF, you did Fletcher, and you realize you didn't have any other heels really positioned to go after that title. Because you've got the Okada Takeshita stuff going on. You've got Swerve as a babyface now. Ospreay's out. The Mox stuff is going to... Like, I think they didn't have a top heel ready that made sense. So it's time to end the babyface title run. Let's get the title on Joe for a bit to move it to someone else and then just kind of reset a bit.
Joe's the perfect palate cleanser for that title picture. You know, consummate professional, believable as champion, right? You know, he deserves it. He also can take it off anybody and drop it to anybody, and you won't think anything less of him. Palate cleanser.
Yeah. It's moving a pro wrestling story along at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say necessarily, like Dusty's a great example you throw out there, right? But I wouldn't say, Squatch, that it's always that way, especially with baby faces. But you got other baby faces that are, like Kenny Omega, you know, whether he's heel or face, right? Him as a champion is Kenny Omega. Okay, all right, you know. AJ Styles, same way, right? He gets the champion, fine with that, right? I think, you know, that you got a lot more instances on the other side of the wrestling fence where you could kind of point to that as well, too, right? But I just feel like Hanger's better on his path towards the title than as title. And I get what you're saying about people in place, but that's just my opinion.
He's Bryan Danielson. He's Bryan Danielson.
There you go. Yeah.
When Bryan had it, cool, he has it. That's kind of what everybody's like, oh, he's got it.
Yeah,
you know, like it's instant cool off.
Yeah, the night he won it, amazing. Next night Raw, it's kind of like, what now?
Like perfect example of the cool off. Cody fucking Rhodes. His ginormous chase. He finished his story, and everybody's like, he's got it. And then right after, he's like, oh, he's got it. Okay.
That's not on the character though. That was just bad writing because he won the title. They're like, cool. Now you're gonna wrestle Sikoa on and off for like 9 months and nobody else. You're gonna continue against a bloodline, just a lesser version of it, and no one's gonna give a shit. That was just bad booking.
Yeah, but he still cooled off. Like everybody appreciates the chase. Only a handful of true baby faces can hold on to that belt for a long time. Like any belt. Like when you think about it, John Cena, perfect example.
Hulk Hogan. Oh wait, sorry.
I mean, you know, we can look at it because he was the face of the 80s, man.
I mean, 80s, early 90s Hulk Hogan, that was You open up a dictionary and see babyface wrestler. You see golden red staring back at you, brother.
But that was even predating Hogan. That was the WWF model. You had Bruno, you had Backlund, and then you had Hogan, and obviously you had your heel in between. But that was the WWF model, is our champion is the best babyface in the company, and like that's the guy everyone loves, and he's the champion because he's the best. And they ran that for a decade straight.
Well, they ran that up until what really led to the Monday Night Wars, which was, to be fair, guys can correct me if I'm wrong, and we're going off on wild tangents. I don't give a shit. Let's fucking go.
What we do.
What really led to the Monday Night Wars, and yes, Hogan going to WCW, gotcha. The Outsiders, it formerly NWO, cool, right? All that. What really led to it was the fact that WWE fell on their fucking faces by putting all their faith in Lex Luger as the next incarnation of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan and them were leaving. They didn't think they needed Hulk anymore because they could just lather, rinse, repeat, put somebody shit out of Lex Luger in '94, and it didn't work. And WWE product in 1994, which you recently watched through, was not good. Save for Shawn Michaels and a few of them out there, the Undertaker, a couple of others sprinkled in. You know, it was not a good product. And
that's only half the story, because it was 93 when Lex Luger was made in the USA, went to SummerSlam.
Okay. Sorry, I got my years mixed up.
But that's important, because then a little over a year later, they're like, well, that didn't work. Let's try doing the same thing with Diesel. They turned him face, stripped away everything that was cool, and made him just like the Hulk Hogan style super baby face. And it was just as bad, if not worse. So the correction was just to point out that it was terrible, and they're like, well, let's run it back and see if it works this time.
They did it twice in a row, and then WWE was at an all-time low. And if they didn't, at that point, decide to do something different, which was turn the story towards some homegrown talent like this Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Rocky Maivia, and a dude that they got from WCW, right? Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Stunning Steve Austin.
It's stunning Steve Austin back then, right? You know?
Now that my mind is running through New Generation WWF, which is my nostalgic era that I love the most, even though it was objectively not good, I just realized not only did they do it twice, but then about a year later we get to 96 and they're like, hey, everyone really likes this Shawn Michaels guy. Let's put the title on him and make him the super lame baby face. And it was also not great. Few better matches in the championship, but so they actually tried it 3 times and then realized the Hulk Hogan babyface on top doesn't work without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. And now, I mean, honestly, since the Attitude Era, to your point, it's all about the babyface chase now, more than anything.
Sure.
It's not about them actually getting it. It's about the chase. And then going against that mad, nasty heel, right?
Or heel faction.
We talk about how there's all these great heels and everything, but when you don't put the storylines in the back end in order to make heels like easily heated up in order for the main picture, kind of makes your runs for your babyface champions not very successful or long. To your point, Cody Rhodes, and we saw it the first time with Hanger, other than CM Punk showing up, but it's typically what happens. So it takes a special cultivation of heels in order to make that run really work.
Yeah. You know, long gone are the days. We've long passed the days of being like, I think now we're more clearly defined heel face than we've been in a long time since the
too many tweeners before.
Yeah. I think you had some instances here and there, right? You had like, I was going back to like early TNA, right, with the Team Canada, and stuff like that. You had some very clear lines with that. The John Cena stuff you've had going on in WWE, I think that's very prototypical WWE, right? With a very clear-laced babyface, clear-laced set of heels, Randy Orton, Edge, line them up, knock them down, right? But those are really the outliers more than anything, okay? Speaking of which, look at this main event. You have Jon Moxley versus Claudio Castagnoli in a fantastic, hard-hitting match. The return of Jon Moxley bleeds in every match, which I've long since missed. That man has been in enough wrestling matches and not bled that it's time to bust his ass open early, all right? I enjoyed the hell out of this. I love how Claudio gets the victory. Out comes Marina to Mox's side. Pac to Claudio's, Wheeler to Mox's, kind of. That whole dissension line is there. And you have Bryan Danielson on commentary, boys, talking about how when he was in the Blackpool Combat Club, he never beat Jon Moxley in sparring sessions. When is the split happening? Give me that answer.
It's coming.
No.
Much like winter, it's coming. Twice.
I asked for an answer
So,
for a generality.
I think it probably happens right before World's End. I could see, because looking at the brackets, like we're already penciling in Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Takeshita as 3 of the 4 semifinals. Who's going to face Okada in the first semifinal? I think the best answer is Claudio, because we got that Continental title match with them on that Reign of Dynamite that went to the 20-minute draw. We never got that followed up on.
That thing fucked, too. That thing was so good, Jamie.
And I think if we're going to Claudio in that spot, I think somewhere around the way, having Claudio eat a loss to someone in the tournament, and then having to do a tiebreaker match with him and Mox to get another one of them doing the turn there makes a lot of sense. So I think sometime between now and World's End, before we get to the finals, is probably when that split happens.
Okay.
World's End.
I think at World's End.
At World's End. That's a perfect end of the year, like in a main event or something. Shit goes down and they put the bag over his head.
I like that. I think that makes a lot more sense. I like the nuance of what you're saying, Austin, right? Yours is a lot more nuanced. Yours is a lot more kind of there, but I don't know. I kind of agree. I think I agree with Jamie more on this here. I feel like it wasn't at World's End when they beat out Bryan Danielson.
That was Wrestle Dream.
That's Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream. Whatever it was in his hometown. I know that, right? It's back in Tacoma. So
I think the problem with doing it at World's End is that one of those two of Mox or Claudio is probably going to be in that last semifinal match. And I think doing the angle there steps on the semifinals of the tournament a little bit. I think if you do it the week before and Claudio beats Mox in a tiebreaker and then they kick him out, that also explains Mox not being on the pay-per-view. So it would be like the Wednesday before.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I feel like I agree with you. I don't think this is going to survive in the new year, at least on its current iteration. And I think that you can go a couple different directions with it. If you want to do like a split, you can do that. I feel like I like the idea of having Mox just go crazy on his own after getting beat out, right? And you have all the others going together, right? I also could see Mox take Marina with her, right? I don't know.
He needs a bag over his head, dude. And she needs to be the one who does it.
I think that would do wonders for her, too.
Head to Brute. Come on now.
Yeah. I think Mox needs to get kicked out only because in the latter half of this match tonight, the crowd started a very clear Moxley chant. Like, I think he needs to get kicked out and go babyface. That seems what the crowd's going to want.
Yep.
I could see them doing the bang over the head, and out comes Bryan Danielson from behind risking his career, because they said if he got involved, he would get fired, right? But to come out to save Moxley.
See, I want them to go bag over the head, and Bryan Danielson rolls into the ring with a second bag just to get him even more. And just goes back to commentary, was like, fuck that guy, and then never talks about it again.
Okay, touche. Speaking of never talking about that again, you guys want to talk about Survivor Series War Games?
Not really.
Didn't see it. Was it exactly like all the War Games matches they've done? Because they're pretty like paint by number these days.
Very paint by number. You had Io Sky came out with a spray painted and logoed trash can for her to jump from the roof off of. Remember the first time that happened? Remember the first time that happened, Jamie, how we lost our ever-living shit when she jumped off of the top of the cage and inside of a trash can? Because it was ridiculous.
In NXT.
War Games leaving NXT is the worst thing for War Games. They need to shelve it, flat out. I had this conversation earlier today with one of my buddies, and he's like, I was never a big fan of the old school. He's a little younger, right? A little younger than me. But he's like, I was never a fan of the old school, like traditional Survivor Series matches. And I go, I hear you, but you can't keep doing this War Games. I saw enough online comparing, and it hurts them. I know we're AEW centric boys, but you tell me your thoughts, because it really hurts them when you see memes that they put together the two matches from Blood and Guts and War Games. And one of them is an actual bleeding, bloody fucking war, and the other is a match inside of a steel cage.
Yeah, like WWE with these matches these days, it's basically like a child with their play set. Just pick and just pretending to have a match. Money in the Bank's the same thing every year now too. They do the same spots over and over again. Like, we've seen Io jump off the cage with a trash can. It was real cool the first time. You don't have to do it every year in War Games. Like, it's all paint by number now. There's no creativity. There's no real story. It's just, oh, we've got Survivor Series coming up. There's War Games, so let's just put some teams together. It ends up being a lot of the same people every year. Same thing when they do TLC's pay-per-view, and it's like, oh, well, someone's going to come out and randomly beat someone up with the ladder because we have to have a ladder match at this TLC pay-per-view. Nothing matters.
Allow me to give you, gentlemen, an analogy. Okay? You gentlemen like eating spaghetti?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Could you eat it every day?
Probably.
I worked at an Italian restaurant for a decade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every single day. Every single day. Do you ever think you got tired of it?
No.
A little bit,
not,
yeah.
Not me personally, but I literally eat the same thing for dinner like Monday to Friday every week. So I'm just
all right, meal prepper. Yes, Jamie. Yes, I would get tired of it eventually.
So,
absolutely.
So you will get tired of just eating spaghetti every single day, right? Well, what if I tell you once a year you could get to have it with meatballs? Would you still be sick of it?
Wait a minute. I don't have meatballs the rest of the year in my spaghetti?
Nope. Just straight spaghetti, dude.
Fuck this place. I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some kind of meat in there. Maybe a little Italian sausage.
I think if it's just plain Jane spaghetti with like marinara sauce and I get meat in it once a year, yes, I'd be excited for that.
Okay. So it's every year, the exact same day, you get the exact same thing. There's no change. It's just meatballs. That's it. No Italian sausage. It's the same meatball every single time.
If it's once a year, like, I'd be looking forward to Meatball Day every year.
Okay. Well, then let me ask you this. So, y'all like Thai food?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what if I told you you get to have Thai food once a week? You get to have pizza once a week. And then every 6 to 8 months, you get to have a very delicious medium rare steak.
Yes, please.
Which would you prefer? Spaghetti every single time? Or pad thai, pizza, and a steak?
Well, we know the answer to that. Yes, it's variety.
Okay. I've just explained the difference between WWE and AEW to you.
No, I understand that completely.
Because all they do is feed you spaghetti every Monday and every Friday. It's a spaghetti. But every now and again, you get a meatball. And that's Morgan. Even then, it's the same fucking thing. And it's the same thing. Same spots, everything. The only thing different is maybe you get a couple different people and you get Rhea Ripley and Art the Clown mask, which is pretty rad. That was only like high point that I had for that. The women's was lackluster. The men's was even just as lackluster because you had freaking what's his name?
Jey Uso.
Well, Jey Uso ran back his entrance, which was ridiculous.
No. He didn't run. Yeah, they literally came in, cleared house, jumped on top of the cage, and then for like 3 minutes, they did the whole yeet thing continuously until Brock Lesnar came out. I've never been so happy to see Brock Lesnar in my life, boys. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah, and then Austin Theory's the one who came out. He's the masked man, if anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, he came out and did the whole fake Seth Rollins, whatever.
Yeah, but that's your meatball, boys. That's your meatball. Oh, I also forgot to tell you, this meatball now that you used to be able to get for like $5 is now $45 a month.
Which is funny because I didn't pay anything extra. I actually got to watch it included because I've had Ultimate for a while, but that's the only reason I watched it because it was literally I was watching football and it was like, oh, Survivor Series, I'll watch that too. Sure, why not?
Just putting that in the universe, gentlemen.
Women's match, lackluster. Men's match, very disappointing. And then you had 2 other matches there. So you had Stephanie Vaquer defending her title. Cool, right? Against Nikki Bella. Why?
Because they don't know how to do anything new. It's any time they can touch on any little bit of nostalgia. It's the same reason why we get EO jumping off of the trash can every single year. It's like, well, it worked before. Just keep doing it. They only know how to beat a dead horse.
And this was a dead horse of a match too. I mean, Stephanie Vaquer is great. She's fantastic, and you just come on. Honestly, the best match of the night was John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. Not even an argument.
Tom's actually a good wrestler.
He is.
I mean, it's his blood.
Yeah.
Cena. You had a Liv Morgan thing, come out, return, and all that stuff, which was, she's a little mini swerve on it, right? It's great. It's fine. And that was Survivor Series. One of the 4 signature pay-per-views.
One of the mid 4.
All right. No War Games next year. Traditional Survivor Series. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Please.
Please, God.
I would watch it again if they did that. If they went traditional Survivor Series.
Yeah.
They have 2 shows, and that's not even counting NXT and stuff like that. Like, you have a large roster. Go back to doing like 4 and 4 elimination matches.
Yeah.
Please.
They had 1 traditional Survivor Series match. You might not have seen it because it was on SmackDown a week before Survivor Series.
Yeah, with the Motor City Machine Guns getting both eliminated by the big Samoan guy. I forget who he is, but
exactly.
Remember when the Motor City Machine Guns signed with WWE, and for like 2 months the SmackDown Tag Division looked rad, and then they're like, "Well, that's enough of cool stuff. Here's Nikki Bella."
Penta and Phoenix was like,
now, boys.
I know Penta is all the big thing, and they're gonna make a big push for Penta, and he had a great entrance at WrestleMania.
He gets hurt.
Yeah.
And then guess who's also hurt?
Right,
Yeah. Phoenix is hurt again.
Phoenix is always hurt, man. I hate to say it.
It's frustrating. Like,
Ugh.
they've got so many good elements, and they refuse to put them together in a way that's entertaining. There used to be the old saying that wrestling is just a soap opera for men. Now they are literally just a soap opera. Nothing ever changes. Nothing ever matters. It's just pointless.
And the whole part that kills me, this is all run by Triple H when he was doing NXT exclusively, right? War Games was amazing. They had the shark cages. They did the whole thing, right? Undisputed, era versus men that had women's War Games, right? Probably Dakota Kai's signature, event or signature moment was her turning on Tegan Knox, and all these great things they used to do. The creativity. Takeover was a spectacle, right? Takeover was like the Takeover New Orleans, still one of my favorite pay-per-views. That 6-person ladder match for the inaugural North American title lives in my brain with AJ Joe Daniels won. I mean, is that good. And this is the same guy doing this shit. That's the infuriating part. Well, the good news, boys, is that next week, winter's going to begin to come.
Winter.
Not only winter, but the fantasy football playoffs start next week too.
They do, and
gotta survive this week. I'm playing for seeding. My other league. I have to win this in order to get by.
So my playoffs in my other league start this week, so I've already got a bye. I'm the number 1 seed over there. Sorry, it's been locked up for 2 weeks. So we have one last week left of our fantasy football, like Austin said. So we shall see where we go from here. Quick look at the standings, just in case we want to just check in on that. So
we should.
Over in the Markstradamus division, we do have. Who would have thought this? But our sweet baby boy Matt is on top, full game ahead of his significant other, the tyrant Megan Faulkner. Okay. Tommy Too Good coming in third place there with our owner and promoter of Fountain City Pro, Chase, coming in fourth, and bring up the rear is Jamie. Good job, Jamie.
Because my team can't get healthy.
I mean, your team looks like looks like an ER room basically at this point. Let's be honest, okay? Over in over the Stash of Knowledge division, we are neck and neck here. So myself and one Mr. Austin Reddick are tied atop. He did beat me this past week here to move into that. One day I'll have receivers who know how to catch a ball. That might help. I don't know. Behind us, full 2 games behind us, is Jamie's better half, the Megasaurus of pumpkin cheesecakes. I don't know where I was going with that. All right, we got Jamie's wife's right there. Then we got SK Bishop coming in fourth with, not to be outdone and tied Jamie for currently last place is one Miss Heidi Howitzer. So
he's actually technically more last than me somehow. Don't know how.
Jamie, you have the same record as someone that literally doesn't check her team half the season.
I know, and I've just had injuries.
And I don't know. Play me this week.
I don't know if you saw.
I'm a 34-point dog.
I don't know if you saw last week's game or not, right? So I actually, this past week, it was 2 weeks ago when Jamie, I actually beat the living snot out of Heidi this week, okay? She had on her bench A.J. Brown with 38 points and DeAndre Swift with 24 points. And it baffled me that she had a bear or a eagle on her bench, but she sure as hell did.
I'll tell you what happened is like a couple weeks ago, whenever the buys were for those people, I was like, hey, you should take them out of your lineup because you're not playing this week. And she did, and she never went back and put them back in. But I'm gonna make sure for the playoffs she's getting her team right. Nothing would bring me more joy than Heidi Howitzer eliminating Jamie from the playoffs.
Well, right now it wouldn't be her. So fun fact, it would be me going up against who was it?
I got it right in front of me here.
I'm projected to go against Chase. And if I win that somehow, some magical way, then I get you.
Yeah, because you can't drop more than seeding. So if
I can go up, that's it.
If you can beat me this week and JJ wins this week, that would knock me to the other side of the bracket, I believe.
Yeah, because now, because you
get the side does not look fun.
Because you have the two division leaders. So right now, me and you have the tiebreaker over me, Austin. So you and me are tied in our division, but you have the but we're tied on record. So if you lose and I win this week, I then move into the Jamie. Number 1 seed, and then next you week. Would move to number 3.
So, yeah, Jamie, you're guaranteed, I believe, to face either one of us.
Not necessarily. Yeah. No, I think that is the.
No, it is. It is. No, like the most I can go is 8th.
Unless if I beat you this week and Sarah right now, wins this week, you would drop to the 10th seed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he would go to 10th.
Oh, then I'd be on the other side. I'd be okay with that.
And it looks like
though, right now, my wife and daughter would face each other in the second round, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
That'd be great. Well, we shall find out. Again, one more week, and then we start playoffs here, so the real smack talk shall begin. We got the beginning of winners coming next week. It's actually a really stacked show. So we got the inaugural women's tag team champions. We've got Hanger and Swerve versus half of the ops, 2/3 of the ops, whatever. More Continental Classic matches. We got a bunch of really good shit coming up next week. So we'll be back. Same bad time, same bad channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining us. Apologies for the technical issues. We're going to switch software next week. We're going to make it right. It's starting off fine. I don't know what's going on here, but we will make it. We will fix it. We will be good. Thank you for those of you who have been sticking around with us here. Again, if it's your first time, we'd love to see you back. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Follow us on the internets at Total Spotfest. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down Total Spotfest, I got 5 words for you. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.